Hello, everybody. Welcome to After the Game from the Yogis, of course, Indiana basketball, taking on Maryland tonight. Special guests, Dean Garrett and Kyle Taber, former players for the Hoosiers, joining us. Guys, thank you so much, Dean. We appreciate you coming on, man.
Absolutely. My pleasure, man. Always nice to talk Indiana basketball.
Kyle, same with you, man. We appreciate you guys taking your time out of your busy schedule to join us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, man, a big win tonight, Dean, for Indiana. A game that the first half was about as ugly as it could get, and it looked really bad. Then all of a sudden, Indiana found something and turned it on and found a way to pull out a 10-point win in this game tonight.
Actually, yeah, I actually got a chance to watch the second half. I was watching the first half at work. I left at halftime so I can watch the end of it. They play hard. They play hard, and, you know, that's always nice to see a team playing hard.
Yeah, Kyle, same thing to you.
Yeah, same thing. Obviously, the first half, the shots weren't falling, but their defense kept them in the game. You know, going down at 6 at halftime when you only scoring 21 points, gave them a chance to, to put on that run in the second half and take the lead instead of being down a lot more like they could have been. So the defense definitely pulled through for them this game.
Dean, I'm sure you're happy about the interior play. Trace Jackson Davis, Race Thompson combined for 35 points, 22 of those for Trace Jackson. He was 9 of 18. Man, he in the beginning they were having trouble down there. Even the guards were scoring, but at the end they turned it on and started owning that paint. They out-rebounded Maryland by, I think, 10, and Maryland is 0-5 now if they're out-rebounded.
You know, it's so nice to see when the outside shots are going, they stopped shooting those threes and they started going inside. And the last time I saw, they had like 32, 34 points in the paint. And for a college basketball game during this time, that's amazing because everybody's still shooting threes and everybody still thinks they're hot. And IU stopped doing it and they went inside. And you don't see that too often in college basketball.
Kyle, the last 6 minutes, the defense, we've seen Indiana falter in a lot of games here of late down the stretch. Tonight, they did not. They actually turned it on and seemed to get stronger.
Yeah, for sure. Like sometimes you said, sometimes your best offense is just being able to get the ball up on the glass, giving your big guys a chance to, make a play on it. Obviously, in the past, they've had turnovers and things like that have killed them. But if you get a good shot or a decent shot up there, Trace, with his length, his size, and his will to go get it, that gives him another chance to go get you 2 more points instead of just feeding him the ball in the post the whole game. So they kind of took advantage of that.
And Dean, a game like this, they've been struggling. They've been having some problems. And, man, I sent out a tweet that said it's an ugly win, but it's a gritty win. And they need a lot of grit. This team could use a lot of grit. And this is the kind of win maybe they needed.
I wouldn't even say that was an ugly win. I thought it was a really well-played win against a good Maryland team. Like I said, they kept going inside, and they knew the Trace was hot, and they kept going to him. And he fed off that. He kept it moving. And I always like to say, see the big guys getting the ball, man. He got that steal. He got that first dunk, and he really got himself going. And that's just old-school basketball because, like I said, they stopped trying to shoot that three from outside. They just kept forcing it inside, and you don't see that too often.
And, Kyle, the guards struggling shooting, or Indiana as a whole struggled to shoot the ball. Ended up 37% on the night. Behind the arc, they were only 4 of 22, 18%. But the guards were able to get to the rim some. But, man, they've got to start knocking those shots down because they're just making life tough on themselves.
Yeah, for sure. And if they can hit some shots, just imagine what the paint will do for Trace. It'll open it up a lot more because right now he's drawing a lot of action, a lot of double teams. But if someone can step up and consistently hit some shots for him, I think it's just going to do even more wonders for Trace down low.
Dean Trace Jackson Davis, a guy who played similar positions to you, but it's a different game somewhat. These guys are asked to step out a lot of the times. Sometimes when you played, they wanted you inside all the time. It's a different game a little bit in that regard.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know how I'd be able to play in today's game. I'd probably be a lot better shooter if I was still out there. But playing with Coach Knight, I don't know if he would have let me sit out there and shot that three and not trying to rebound. So you got to take the good and the bad, I guess. But today's game and watching those guys play, they're all pretty much skilled. They're all like guards in a big man's body. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, Kyle, what does this team need to do go forward? What did this win? Like I said, I think this is a win that they needed. But what does this do for them going forward? Confidence-wise, they really struggled in the first half. But even though they struggled and the shooting wasn't there, they were able to get this win. And it was a lot prettier in the second half, like Dean said. But the confidence has got to be immense coming out of a win like this.
Yeah, I mean, you got to find a way to win when shots aren't falling, and hopefully they can take that with them to their next game, because not every game shots are going to fall. And with this team, it looks like it's going to happen more often than not, unfortunately. So finding those different ways, learning what else you can do to help the team win besides hitting shots. And like tonight, it was the rebounding, it was getting the ball in the paint as much as possible. And then obviously bringing it on the defensive end will always give you a chance. So hopefully they can build on that and learn that you don't have to hit every three to win a game, but you got to do, everything else really well.
Yeah, as they continue to move forward this league, as we talk about, I remember saying, this is going to be a tough one for them tonight. But as soon as you say that, you're like, well, every game's going to be a tough one in this league, because there simply are no nights off. As we've seen, the net rankings came out today. Indiana's 51st, but there are 11 other Big Ten teams in front of them. It's mind-boggling. Dean, the league has always been strong, but it's never been this strong. I mean, every team except for Nebraska is just a team you cannot overlook, and you can't even overlook over Nebraska, really.
Hey, the Big Ten is tough, man. It's been that way for decades and decades. It's always pretty much been the best conference in the nation, and this year is definitely no different. These guys got their hands full. They got 2 games coming up on the road back-to-back. I know Thursday and I believe Sunday. And if they can bottle up the toughness that they had going on tonight, and like Kyle said, if the three's not going, get that ball inside. And you can bottle that up and keep that rhythm and that playing, they got a good chance of winning.
I threw this commercial up real quick, or a question up just almost as a tongue-in-cheek a little bit, but Jerome Hunter had a little problem tonight. He fouls a three-point shooter twice in a row, and I'm like, oh, man, that sucks. But Ed asked, what would Coach Knight have done if that had happened? That would have probably not been a funny situation.
Well, first of all, if I'm out there trying to block somebody's three-point shot, somebody else, one of those guards, made a mistake. So I think I'd probably get a little praise for stepping out, and he's probably going to get on somebody else for not being there, because I shouldn't even be out there at all.
Exactly. Indiana getting production from the guards tonight, but it wasn't from the shooting. I think they may have had more points at the rim, Kyle, than I've seen in any other game this year. Rob Finney got to the rim. Al Durham, his first 4 or 6 points, I think, came at the rim. Trey Galloway started the game out looking to score. Race Thompson, a lot of guys were looking to score early in this game, and it stayed that way. Last time it kind of went away, but they're just looking more and more confident, I guess, which was remarkable after that first half.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, getting to the rim is the name of the game. It makes it a lot easier for a lot of people. It'll open up the outside shot, kicking off or drop-offs. And I think early on, Maryland, whenever we were hitting some of those, they were scared to leave Trace just in case we did miss. They wanted to keep a body on him to prevent him to get the offensive rebound. And then late in the game, you saw they started coming over, and that's why Trace took advantage of it and got better rebounding position for some of those missed shots. But, yeah, if they can get in the paint, obviously good things are going to happen.
Christian Lander, one of the 4 freshmen that we see not a lot of. Steve said he wanted to see more of him in the game. And I was wondering if we would, but I think how the game goes obviously dictates a lot of that. And sometimes the situation didn't seem like it. That second half just didn't seem to allow him in there. He's a special player, but I'm just not sure that Archie can leave him in those critical times yet.
Well, he's still learning. And, the way that pace of that game, how it was going in the second half, Archie did he did the right thing by keeping those guys in there, because all 5 of those guys that was in there, they had it going, especially in the second half. Rebounding defensively, they had it going. So there was no need to kind of mess up that chemistry that was there. That was an important game to win.
You know what? That's a great point there by Mike, too. They did this without Armand Franklin. He goes down with probably an ankle injury, has been the best shooter for Indiana. They don't have him out there tonight. So that's a great point. To win this game grittily as they did without one of the guys that's been kind of their mainstays, that also has to be a very, very positive thing for them.
Yeah, it forced some of those other guys to step up. It seems like Rob and Al even at times have kind of taken a back seat to Armand making the plays for the team a lot. So now it forced them back into their roles, which they had a lot last year, and maybe it got them a little bit more confidence. And then when he comes back healthy, all three of those guys can provide a lot more for the team, hopefully.
And Dean, now as they continue to move forward in this league, when you get a win over a Maryland team and you don't do it as pretty as like in the first half, as you said, without the shots falling in that regard, it was pretty in a lot of other ways, but they've got to get the shots falling. This is something that's been an issue all year long, so it's not something that has just crept up. But there's going to be way too many of these games in this league where that's just not going to be enough. They're Michigan and these teams are just too strong. They're just much better than Maryland was tonight. And it's going to be difficult to win if you're not hitting shots.
Well, that's going to start Thursday night because I believe they got Wisconsin in Wisconsin. So if that shot's not falling, they really better pick up the defense, and you got to go back inside. I mean, if you're not hitting those threes, go back inside and get that layup, because Trace had a lot of those today. Race looked real good in the beginning of the game in the first half, and he had a lot of those layups today. And so sometimes those twos, you don't exactly need a three every time. Those twos can keep you in the ball game until that shot is falling. So they got their hands full. I know they got Wisconsin, and I know they got 2 road games back to back. And in the Big Ten on the road, it's never going to be easy.
And ironically, this Maryland team went to Wisconsin and beat number 6 Wisconsin a week and a half ago. And I watched that team tonight. I'm like, there's no way. And this league is so up and down, so you can't figure anything. But, yeah, now they've got to go up and play against a team who specializes in defense. And the big question from a lot of people, and including myself in this first half, is I just didn't know what the end game was offensively, Kyle. I didn't know what they were trying to accomplish. I mean, the easy thing is to say to score, yeah, but I didn't really know how they were trying to do that, because it didn't seem like there was a ton of movement. There didn't seem like there was an end result to where this next pass was going.
Yeah, and then Maryland went to their matchup zone, and that definitely slowed us down a lot. But the second half, they got the ball inside. They with driving, attacking the zone, or just trying to throw it inside on the block or even the high post, and that opened up a lot. So they did change up their defenses a little bit. Maryland, that threw us off guard a little bit. We didn't get to our ball screen offense, which we normally go through against man, but. Yeah, they got some work to do, obviously. Got some young guys out there doing it still as well. Obviously, Armand only being a sophomore, and then Galloway, being a freshman. So those are the guys that got to initiate the offense. And they got to, make sure they can recognize stuff quickly, get us into our stuff, and figure out where we want the ball, like you said. 90% of the time, it's probably Trace.
Zone defenses have been an issue for Indiana this year, obviously, because of the shooting. But and talking about Trace Jackson Davis, Dean, I mean, he's got to start developing this 15-foot elbow jumper. He tried a couple of them tonight. They're not falling yet, but that's something he's going to have to develop as well. Of course, he's an interior player, but he's got to be able to pull his guys out, especially if he's going to go to the next level. He's got to develop that shot consistently.
Well, Trace has a very good teacher, his father. So I'm sure his father knows what he needs to work on. And looking at his game today, you could tell that he's a lot better than he was 11 months ago when I first saw him play in person. So I think the kid's going to be all right. I mean, it's so tough. I was watching that game today, and I was watching the bench, and the bench was trying to act like the Assembly Hall crowd. And they were trying to get those guys into it. It's so tough not having that crowd, not having that energy, and you got to bring your own energy when you step out on the floor. And so with that being said, Trace is going to be all right, man. He's going to hit those shots. And like I said, if he's not hitting them like he wasn't really today, he did a great job on taking that ball inside. The kid's 6'10", and there's really no shot blockers out there. So take it to the hole and get yourself going by getting those layups and those easy bunny shots.
Yeah, like I said, 9 of 18, 22 points, 4 of 6 at the free throw line. That's another thing Indiana has done a lot better job is hitting their free throws. They had struggled for so long, but they've seemed like they've solved that problem, Kyle. Moving forward with this team, what do they need to improve most? I mean, we know we talked about the shooting, but as a team, when they go to Wisconsin, and you talk about you have to bring your own energy, you're on the road and you got to worry about that. And I've seen a lot of these games, these road teams have seemed more energetic in Assembly Hall for some reason. I don't know why. Part of it is, I think, because the team's kind of hemmed in down at the end. They've got all those managers on the end. I was talking to somebody about that earlier. All the IU managers down there, and the team can't get out around that corner where the opposing teams are kind of coming out and just taking over that whole corner. But yeah, you've got to go to Wisconsin, a place. It's the Bard and the Kohl Center. It's a tough place to play anyway. You got to bring your own energy on top of that and focus on a team that is a top 10 team in the country.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a tough one for them. I mean, Wisconsin spreads you out. They make your guards play in the post and play good post defense, and they make your bigs come out and play on the perimeter because they all have all inside-out guys. That's what they recruit, big guys who can step out and shoot it and obviously have the skill inside, and they recruit guards who know how to post up as well. So you got to know how to play defense, kind of all aspects, all areas of the court, depending on no matter what position you play. But yeah, they're known for their defense, and probably because they get to play against each other every day. But we definitely have to bring it. Yeah, what we can focus on moving forward besides the outside shot, I'd say just the turnovers. I think we did a little bit better tonight. Even if we don't turn the ball over, you'll get some sort of shot. You're either going to hit it, you're going to miss it. If you miss it, you got a chance at least to get a offensive rebound put back, which we got tonight. If there's a turnover, half the time, if it's a live ball, you can't set your defense. Those are tough to defend, those runouts. So turnovers would be the key for me moving forward. Obviously, besides the shooting, that would just open up everything. But
Dean, your thoughts? Indiana going up to Wisconsin. What do they need to do? What follow up off of this game?
Well, I can tell you right now, when Wisconsin sees that Indiana in the front of that jersey, they'll be a lot more fired up than they were against Maryland last week. And those guys need to start understanding that name on the front automatically puts a lot of fire and a lot of energy in the other team's eyes, and either at home or on the road. So they got to be ready to play every single night because the other team is going to be ready to play against Indiana just because it's Indiana.
Before I let you guys get out of here, I just ask, Dean, you still in Vegas? What's new with you? What are you doing?
I'm trying to stay out the way, man. Just trying to stay healthy and safe and stay out the way, man. Yeah, still here in Las Vegas, and things are not as bad as everybody thinks. We're still open. Casinos are still open, but it's just slow business, It's the way it is right now, and I'm over it. I'm ready to get back to normal.
Tell Pat Knight we said hello. He's out there somewhere.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's here. He's out here.
You see him ever? Do you see Pat at all ever?
Well, I see him when there's some basketball going on, but since there's no basketball going on, then you're not allowed to go in. And I haven't seen Pat since we both left Bloomington on the same plane. But he's here.
Oh, from when Coach Knight returned last year?
Yeah. We were on the same plane coming back home. So
that was cool.
That was the last time I saw him.
Kyle, what's new with you? What are you doing?
I live in Indianapolis, and I sell real estate. So you can bring all the business to me. Send everybody.
Here we go, man. That's right. That's right. So Indiana taking on Wisconsin coming up this Thursday. They get the win here tonight. I cannot thank everybody enough. Cannot thank Dean Garrett enough, the national champion Dean Garrett and Kyle Taber as well for joining us. I have to get you guys back next time you're in Yogi. It's going to get you fed and get you taken care of and all that. But can't thank you guys enough, man. It was love talking to you.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Thank you, guys. And a big thanks to Chris Martin and Nathan Finney, the Finney Hospitality Group, everybody here at Yogi's, Kelly, manager, everybody taking great care of us. We appreciate you. If you're in Bloomington, make sure you stop by and give those guys stop by and see them. But we'll be back tomorrow, the show back in the regular morning. We'll talk about what happened tonight and Indiana football, everything else that's going on. For everybody here, I'm Jim Coyle. Make sure you do something nice for somebody. Wear your mask. And until tomorrow, I will.